pull-up jumper off the rim, and and the Thunder win!
Oh, come on, let's sing the Thunder song.
When you hear the sound of thunder, don't you get too scared. Just grab your Thunder buddy and say these magic words.
Hello and welcome back to Thunder Buddies episode 4, kind of the season preview episode a little bit. I mean, I don't know how much we're going to really preview every part of the season, but the season does start tomorrow in Utah for the Thunder. Actually starts tonight in Miami, Heat Bulls. I know Darnell will be watching that.
I don't think I'll be the only one, Slater. I'll just say that.
I will be watching this too, but I think we know what Darnell is going to be rooting for in that game. But NBA's back. Let's start with the Thunder. What's the number one thing you're looking forward to seeing, following early in the season?
Kevin Durant. I mean, this is, for all the other questions, Kevin Durant is still one of the best players in the world, and he's just an incredible talent. So anytime you get a chance to see him, and we're watching the continued evolution of a superstar, one of the game's greatest players ever. So I'm always just fascinated by what Kevin Durant comes back with.
Mm-hmm. I'm just really interested to see Jeremy Lamb and what he's going to develop into. I was reading a draft when I was doing a story on him a little while back, and I was reading kind of his who he compares to in the league. Mm-hmm. And two of them said Kevin Martin, which, looking back, I was like, oh, that's, it's funny. He's kind of replacing Kevin Martin. People are comparing him to Kevin Martin. We've only seen him really in the preseason. He's not Kevin Martin.
No, not at all.
I don't think he's going to be as steady as scorer or shooter, but I think he does it. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Kevin Martin is a very established scorer in this league, 20 points per game, multiple years. But I think he does everything else better, maybe even already. Actually, definitely already. At least defensively, getting in lanes and just being athletic. Who do you kind of see Jeremy Lamb being ceiling-wise in this league?
Ooh, ceiling-wise? That's tough. I mean, because we haven't seen anything. You know what I mean? Like if you come out and say something ridiculous like Tracy McGrady or something, we haven't seen it. We haven't seen him yet. So I think we should just let it play out. Ceiling, that's a tough question. I just like to see him start making some shots before I start talking about his ceiling. Like, let's see him make some three-pointers.
But I think that's the one thing to fall early on, because I think he kind of holds a huge key to this team and how far it goes. If he can develop it, right away into a pretty steady score off the bench, reliable, and a disruptive force on defense, that gives him a dynamic in that position that they didn't have with Martin, definitely, and especially defensively. I mean, they didn't really even have it with Harden off the bench.
Right, that's a good point.
But I mean, obviously, Harden's a little bit better player than.
I just want to see him make shots.
Yeah,
I don't care about all the other stuff. If he can just space the floor by making himself a threat to knock down open shots on kickouts, that'll add a dimension to this team that it sorely needs. I mean, Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook need that outlet, and he's got to be it.
Yeah. League-wide, I asked you the number one thing you're looking forward to with the Thunder. League-wide, what's the number one thing you're looking forward to? I can guess. But
well, oh, man, I'm torn.
One of them's Derrick Rose. That's my guess.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
And obviously the other one's the Wizards.
Yeah.
I mean, we just made the Hughes trade, Emeka Okafor from Marcin Gortat.
That was a nice trade.
That was a good trade. I mean, I think people around here love Marcin Gortat. It helped me for two reasons. One, the Wizards got a little bit better. Two, I don't have to answer questions about will the Thunder trade for Marcin Gortat anymore. I got a chat coming up right after we do this.
Yeah.
Thank God I won't have to answer any more Gortat questions.
Until the offseason. Will they sign him? Will they end?
Yeah, you're right. Good point.
But
it bought me 6 months, though.
I like Gortat. I actually think Steven Adams has a little bit of Marcin Gortat in him. That potential.
How so?
Just that kind of player, that kind of just guy that solidifies. You don't need to throw it down to him in the post. You don't need to feature him. But he just does a lot of things right. And if he's on the court, like you're set at that position.
Yeah.
I think Adams could become that. Okay. Oh, I should do mine. League-wide.
Yeah.
Well, can you guess? I think you could guess what I'm about to say.
Does it start with LeBron and end with James?
No.
Okay.
It starts
How
with
about Miami
Jamal
and
and
Heat?
ends with Crawford.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
No, I think the Clippers.
Our power rankings came out yesterday, and you had the Clippers as your second best team.
I think they're going to win the West. So, yeah,
You believe in Doc Rivers and Jamal Crawford? Oh,
well, I mean,
that much.
I mean, Jamal Crawford, along with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan's look fantastic in the preseason. He looks like a much more improved player. It seems like he's really kind of thriving under play with Doc Rivers.
Ooh.
And
you're in for a rude awakening.
We'll see. Maybe you are.
Maybe I am. Maybe I am.
I mean, it starts tonight. They're probably going to just pound the Lakers tonight.
Watch them lose.
Oh, well, if they lost game 1. I can
excuse it. A Kobe-less Lakers team.
Yeah, we'll see. But I think
so. You like the Clippers?
I think they're for a big year. I think we've established that I like the Clippers this year. All right, new segment on the podcast. We're gonna kind of crowdsource some questions. We went through Twitter yesterday and asked people for some questions, and we got some good feedback. So let's start with this is from Mark DeLacy at Mark DeLacy. How many times will Oklahoma City score 100 points with Russell Westbrook out? Let's say 20 games. We don't even need to give a number on that, but how do you think the offense is going to look with Westbrook out in the first 20 games? How much around do you think they'll average?
I go back to guys like Jeremy Lamb, their ability to make shots, because if they can make shots, this offense is not going to be the same. But, I mean, you saw in some of those preseason games how when the ball is moving and the floor is spaced and everyone's a threat, that offense is still a high-powered offense. And I think they can get it well into the hundreds on many nights if they just stick to those principles of moving the ball, and knocking down shots. So they got to get some contributions from guys like Jeremy Lamb. Reggie Jackson, I think we know he's going to step up. So I don't see it being much of a drop-off. If you're asking for a number, let's just throw out 20 games. Russell will miss. I think it'll be less. But out of those 20, I'll go 12.
Yeah, I was thinking somewhere around 10, 12, because we know that they have guys that are capable of having big nights, capable of giving this offense. They have a pretty easy schedule early
Yeah, that's
on.
the big thing.
Yeah, you're playing against the Suns.
Yeah.
Put me at shooting guard, I could get.
Slow down. Slow down, Slater.
But I think consistency is the thing to watch. I think early on they're going to have some 115-point games, and they might have some – they go against they got Memphis, I believe.
Not scoring 100 in that game.
Yeah, exactly. So I think – it's going to be, one night 115, one night 90. We'll see. It'll be interesting to watch, though. Okay, this is from Jill Adler. Will Steven Adams play in Tulsa at all this season? One game in Tulsa. Over under.
Thanks, Steven. As if we haven't talked about – is that his name, Steven?
Who? No, it was Jill Adler.
Oh, Jill.
Steven
Thanks,
Adams
Jill.
is who she said.
Here I go messing up names again. Let's see, Jill. I say no.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I say no.
Which is unbelievable to think about from the night they drafted him to now, where our,
and you've mentioned this in the exhibition season, how he's progressed at sort of every stage.
Every game.
Every stage in his career, coming into college, then what he did in college, going into summer league, from summer league to now. The guy is he's improving at an incredible rate.
Yeah. And watching that, I think that's one thing that Thunder got to feel really good about, not just with Adams, actually particularly with Adams, but even with Lamb, is that they're starting this season right now where they are. But 82 games of Steven Adams maybe getting some meaningful minutes, and Lamb, if everyone stays healthy and Westbrook comes back, they should be a better team at the end of the year just by the fact that their young players should be better.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. But yeah, I agree. No Tulsa games for.
And I said that I think on our first podcast. I think he sticks with the Thunder. I just didn't think he'd play that much. I'm kind of coming around on that, and I think he's probably got to beat out Hasheem to beat at this point.
Yeah. So over under 41 meaningful games.
I was 5 last week, jokingly.
What? Okay,
I think he's got to be the backup. I just still don't know if I trust Scott Brooks. He's got to prove to me that he's willing to play young guys because he hasn't done it. So he says he's done it, but he has only done it when he's been forced to play him. Yeah. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook doesn't count. That was a 20-win team, a 23-win team. So, since they become a legit playoff team and a title contender, he hasn't really played young guys unless he's been forced to do it. So I just don't trust Scott Brooks. He's got to prove to me that he can make that adjustment and play young guys and trust them.
Yeah. Another quick Adams question I was going to pair with this one's from Sean Rubio. Who will Steven Adams' biggest rival be at the center position in 5 years? Or he might have said 6 years. But
there's a lot of people out there who like Alex Lynn.
Yeah.
And being in the West, over there with the Phoenix Suns, I think Alex Lynn could be one of those guys. He's a big body, not afraid to be physical. They matched up in college, so
yeah.
Did they match up in college?
Did Maryland ever play Pitt? Continue while I look this up.
Well, whether they did or didn't, they're familiar with each other.
Yeah.
And I think as they continue to grow, they could become two of the up and coming centers.
There's a lot of centers in the draft last year that were taken. I don't know how many are going to develop into meaningful players in the league. Kelly Olynyk. I mean, I know they're not in the same conference.
Your boy.
I think he's going to be a good player. Enes Kanter, who he wasn't in last year's draft, but I mean he's a young center in the same division as Adams. We saw them battle a little bit in preseason. I think that's got the potential. I mean, that obviously will probably depend on if the Jazz can become something relevant in the league. But I think, those two would be good. All right, last Twitter question. This is from Kerry Stevenson. He said there's 9 rotation spots that seem clear. Who's going to be number 10, a la DeAndre Liggins last year? Let's just blow this out a little bit. When Russell Westbrook gets back and it's playoff time, how do you see this rotation? We know the starters.
Yeah.
Westbrook, Durant,
even though Brooks is acting like he doesn't have them.
Okay, yeah, I'm kidding. Perry Jones might start at the 3.
Yeah.
No.
Derek Fisher might be the starting point guard, for all we know.
Yeah. So it's going to be, the starters, if everyone's healthy, by playoff time should be, obviously it's going to be Westbrook, Durant, Cephalosha, Ibaka, and then, we'll assume for now Perkins.
Yeah.
And then you go to the bench. Jackson's going to probably be
developing. Collison.
Yeah. There's 7.
I'd probably go, Lamb.
Lamb, he's, unless he struggles mightily.
Yeah.
Adams, it's going to be either Adams or Thabit is going to get minutes.
Yeah.
By the playoff time, I would be extremely surprised if it's not Adams. Even by next week, I'd be surprised if it's not Adams. But there's 9.
That's 9.
I'd go Derek Fisher would be my guess.
Yeah, Fish. Forgot about Fish.
Yeah, especially playoff time.
Yeah.
You know who he trusts.
I think Adams Thabit is that 10th guy. I think Fish is the 9th guy.
Yeah.
Depending on how you look at it. And I think the big man is, because they could play small a lot this year. So I think the big man is the 10th guy.
Maybe. I think, depending on how Adams develops, it shows, he may supplant, maybe not become the starter over Perkins, but he may get more minutes than Perkins, where Perkins minutes.
Here we go again.
We'll see how the rotation slips up, but if he provides
I came up on my number. I said he's going to play meaningful games, and now you're trying to give starters minutes.
Okay, next question. Will Steven Adams be the MVP within the next 2 years?
According to Slater, yes.
No, just kidding. But, all right, Fisher's going to be that 10th man. I don't think Andre Robertson's really going to get minutes this year. Perry Jones still seems at the back end. Ryan Gomes isn't. So
I'd like to see more Ryan Gomes.
Yeah, he's got a very, very small sample size in his time with the Thunder, but it's a very, very good one. Was he like 4-6?
Yeah,
3 threw him deep in 12 minutes, 12 points.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe he just said, hey, "I'm good. My Thunder career's over. I'm hanging him up." They kept him though.
But I like his tools though. If you look at his physically, he's got a nice size. He can defend. He's got active hands, and he's tough. He's not going to get pushed around. Jeremy Lamb, he still struggles a little bit defensively. Ryan Gomes, he might get beat, but he knows what he's doing out there.
Whether it's because of injury or just how the game dictates it, I bet 10 or so games this year, he'll give them good minutes.
I hope so.
In a spot where they need it.
I'm starting to think he's Ronnie Brewer 2.0.
Except I don't think he's being pumped like Ronnie Brewer was when he got here. Like, this is gonna be big. This is gonna. He's gonna be the
Everybody
defensive
thought
special.
he was gonna be like the LeBron stopper. And
and then
he never
I
played.
think nobody's really thinking, Ryan Gomes, he's gonna be big for them this year.
Right.
I just think there's gonna be a game where Durant gets in foul trouble, or somebody sitting, Ibaka's sitting with like a sprained ankle. Like, we need some big minutes, and Gomes will come in and be a steady force.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thought. Okay, let's go a little bit league-wide. I don't want to do a season preview as far as like who's going to be your MVP, who's going to be your coach of the year. I'm going to ask 5 quick questions, all position related. Who's the best point guard in the NBA?
Chris Paul.
More than Derrick Rose?
It's close, but Chris Paul does things that Derrick Rose doesn't do yet. Like, Derrick Rose is going to kill you by going off in the fourth quarter and really just tearing apart your defense individually. Chris Paul is going to make everybody better. So he can get to the rim and finish and pull up for that free throw line, jump shot. But he can also get J.J. Redick a 3 or Jared Dudley a 3 or throw the lob to Blake Griffin. He can make everybody else on the floor a threat. And Rose does it just because, you put so much attention on him that's naturally going to free up everyone else. But Chris Paul is trying to make everyone better first. I think that's more impactful.
I mentioned this to you the other day, not on a podcast or anything. I look at it when I'm looking at who I think's better, when I'm ranking point guards, it's who would if I was an opposing coach or team, who would I just be scared to play against the most? Like, who would I not want to play against in a big playoff game? If everyone in the league's fully healthy, who do I not want to play against? I would be more scared of a fully healthy Derrick Rose than Chris Paul. I mean, he like you said, he can explode on you in the fourth quarter. He can do all this and that. Chris Paul, I mean, he's steady. He's he is a good player, but I just think Derrick Rose is a more, I don't know. Like I said, I just be more scared to go against him. I mean,
Chris Paul's no Jamal Crawford, that's for sure.
Well, funny thing is, you're taking the Clipper and I'm taking the Bull.
Yeah, that is ironic.
It's a little weird.
Put Derrick Rose on the Clippers. Oh boy, I hate to see what you're doing then.
Let's not talk about that. Okay, but beyond those two, if I say you could start a franchise with one of these 3 point guards, who are you taking? Steph Curry. I mean, he's kind of a combo.
Probably not. Go ahead.
Kyrie Irving.
Say no more.
John Wall.
Kyrie Irving.
John Wall.
John Wall, that's my boy. I love him. Kyrie is just special. He's got the shot. I mean, he's got a better handle. He's got a better shot. And I think, I don't want to.
His handle's unbelievable. By the way, I'd take Kyrie Irving. I think it is the best in the league.
Better than Jamal Crawford?
I mean, I thought we were talking about moving forward, not a Hall of Fame locks
no, I'm saying
and legends.
Handles.
Oh, handles?
Okay, you're leaving legends out of the equation. Okay, I got you. No, I'd take Kyrie. And I don't want to say it's not close because I think, as I said, John Wall is going to be in that category this year, I think. But Kyrie is just, he's some kind of special. He's only 21. He's carrying that team.
I was like, remember when he got drafted? What was your thought when he got drafted? He didn't play much at Duke.
He didn't play much. And
I was like, I don't know if that's a great pick.
He said he had some kind of comment that said, I think I'm a mix between Chris Paul and I forgot the other player. And I was talking to a buddy at the time. I was like, this guy is arrogant. Like, how do you come in? You haven't even played. You played 7 college games, and you compare yourself to a mix between like Chris Paul and Steve Nash.
Yeah.
And so that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But I remember I'd loved Kyrie even from the minimal time that he did play at Duke. So I've always been a fan of his, and he's just proven himself to be an elite player.
Okay. Best shooting guard right now.
Oh, boy. Wish we had Kevin Durant on the podcast.
Yeah. I think I know who he'd say.
I'm going to say right now, are we factoring in health?
Well, yeah, that's the thing, because, I mean, I think it's still between the James Harden, Kobe, Dwayne Wade little trio. And if we are factoring in health, or if we are factoring in if you were starting a franchise, you take Harden. I mean, you'd have to. If we aren't factoring in health and it's just one, like I said earlier, one game, who are you afraid to go against in a game 7?
Yeah. It's got to be Kobe.
It's Kobe, number one, no doubt. And then at this point,
probably Wade
because what he's done in big games. Harden's unproven. He's had a great year. Last year was a great year, but he has to continue to do this. He has to do this deep into the playoffs.
Right.
So, I mean, franchise-wise, you take him. But right now, I mean, Kobe or Wade's probably the guy you trust the most.
Yep.
Okay. Jimmy Butler, Victor Oladipo, or Ben McLemore, if you could take one of them moving forward.
Oladipo. And how has Jimmy Butler gone from like a nobody to a legend all of a sudden? Like he was
good in the playoffs.
Hero at this point.
He was good in the playoffs. Why do I keep backing up the Bulls? This is crazy.
You're coming around. That's why.
They look good in Wichita. But okay, Oladipo.
I take Oladipo. That dude is special. I don't know if I like what they're trying to. No, trust me. I don't know if I like what they're trying to do with him, like Russell Westbrook 2.0. I don't know why you want to play him at point guard.
Well, I think it's more, let's try this out. Let's get him a little better with that, and let's lose a lot so we can maybe get a big guy.
And they got Tobias Harris and Mo Harkless and Aaron Aflalo out there, so they got to get him some minutes somehow.
Yeah.
But Oladipo, that's my pick for Rookie of the Year. I think he's hands down the best rookie this year.
I saw a bunch of people. I think it was the CBS preview picked Ben McLemore. Like 3 of the 4 picked Ben McLemore as Rookie of the Year, which really surprised me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He kind of stunk in Summer League.
Yeah, I mean, and he's still so young and kind of raw, it looks like. Best small forward in the league beyond, because, I mean, it's obviously
beyond the top 2.
You're going to go LeBron and Durant. Those are the 2 best players in the league.
Paul George, a small forward?
Yeah.
Who you got?
Well, I mean, my thought is it's kind of going to be between Paul George and Carmelo. Is who most people would probably put it between.
Yeah, I think Paul George's defense separates him.
Yeah.
Melo does it only when he wants to. Paul George is dedicated on that end.
Yeah. Beyond that, a guy I think can leap into that category and try to take that this year. I mean, he already did kind of in the playoffs, deep into the playoffs this year. Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi. Yeah.
Is it Kawhi or Kawhi?
Kawhi.
You sure? I've heard it said both ways.
I kind of like the way you say it, but it's not that.
Okay. Kiwi Leonard.
Yeah, it sounds like Steven Adams.
The big Kiwi. But, I mean, along the lines of Leonard, I just think.
He's good.
Yeah, and getting much better. And seems like he's going to kind of be the next wave of the Spurs. Mm-hmm. He's going to lead that. Best power forward right now and power forward you'd take moving into the future.
Moving into the future. Kevin Love, I think you got to go with for best right now.
Just health's the only thing, but I mean, I think if all healthy, you take him.
Right. Moving forward, I'm still intrigued by Blake.
Yeah.
I think he at some point is going to put it together.
It's a big year for him.
It's got to be. Your Clippers are banking on Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
If he doesn't take that next jump, the Clippers aren't going to get out the first round.
Okay, bold statement. They can still get out of the first round with the same Blake they had. I mean, it'd be tough, but
yeah.
But you're right. I mean, this is a huge year for them to where I picked them, which is going to the finals.
Right.
They do need.
They better not face the Mavs, Rockets, or Warriors in the first round. Mavs. Trust me. I think those are 3 teams that can beat the Clippers in the first round. 3-6.
Okay, you want to know the power forward I'd take going
4-5.
forward? Enough Clipper talk. You want to know the power forward I'd take going forward? Anthony Davis.
That's a good call.
He looks good right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know. He's so versatile. He's gonna that's my thought. All right, center. Between these 3, I know we've kind of talked about this before though. Steven Adams.
Well,
I mean, that's obvious.
Aside from Steven Adams. Okay, let's go.
Marc Gasol, Joakim Noah, Dwight Howard.
Moving forward?
Yeah.
I'm sticking with Dwight. I don't care now or in the future. I'm going with Dwight Howard. I hope that he gets his mind right and, becomes more mature. But just he's physically gifted that he's got gifts that those other 2 don't have. And I don't like that he can't make free throws, so you can't trust him at the end of the games. But he's just so dominant defensively. And then offensively, if you don't double him, he's going to kick it out to shooters, and they're going to burn you from 3. So I got to go with Dwight Howard.
I agree. I think Joakim Noah is a clear third in that conversation. And then I think it's between Gasol and Howard. And I'd take Howard if we just knew what he was going to be. But my question is, will he ever return to that 2009 Orlando form where, he was just physically dominant? He didn't look like that same player in LA last year. They say it was because of the back, which it might have been. if we see it this year, you'd think if he turns back into that, he'll be the best center in the league. Right now, you know what you're getting with Gasol.
Yep.
He can fit in any kind of system.
Yeah.
Great.
You know my feelings on Marc Gasol.
I believe it's something along the lines of overrated.
Overrated.
But still a great player.
He's a very good player. I wouldn't say he's a great player. He's a very good player. I don't think he should have been Defensive Player of the Year last year.
If you were getting the Dwight that you got last year in L.A. and you knew you were getting that Dwight or last year's Gasol, you take Gasol.
I'll take Gasol.
Okay.
But Dwight Howard was hurt last year, and I think he ran into some problems with, chemistry and those sort of things with the Lakers that it just all kind of ballooned and came too much.
Okay. Yeah. Last question.
Yep.
Percentage chance the Thunder reach the finals?
Oh, man, percentage? I have no idea how to do this, so just throwing something on the wall, 43%.
That's good.
I would think that's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, they should take that, basically. Because there's, 3 teams, at least that I think, are definitely contenders in the West: Spurs, Clippers, Thunder. And then beyond that, you still have Rockets who could surprise, and then Warriors and Grizzlies. So I'm around there too. I think they got a lot of better shot than some pundits think they do. Although I've been reading some previews lately. Sports Illustrated, 3 of their 6 had them winning the title. So Westbrook's back healthy. I mean, they got as good a shot as anyone in the West.
They got Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, 2 of the best. That's the best duo in not only the West. It might be the best duo in basketball, depending on Dwayne Wade's health.
Yeah.
So they got the best duo potentially in basketball, and then when you throw in Serge Ibaka, you're looking at a trio that's right up there with the best trios in the league. So
Serge Ibaka's development, I think, is the big thing this year, along with what is Lamb.
I'd like to see 15 and 10 out of Serge this year.
Yeah,
15 and 10. He's got to give me 15 and 10.
That seems reasonable.
Seems reasonable, but he's not a very good rebounder. At least not a consistent rebounder.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It'll be interesting. Season starts tomorrow, or depends on when you're listening. Season starts Wednesday in Utah. Friday they play at Minnesota. A little taste of Kevin Martin. That'll be interesting. I think Timberwolves actually might be pretty good this year. And then Sunday the home opener against a Phoenix team that does not probably even want to win that game.
Alex Len versus Steven Adams. Here we go.
Yeah, buddy. So we'll talk to you next week, probably after those 3 games. Should be interesting. I'm pumped the season started.